Now let us continue with the second topic, that is validation control, in which we will be learning about various validation controls. Those are require field, regular expression, custom, compare, range and validation summary. Now first let me explain what an validation control actually does or means. So this validation control are used for validating data which will be entered in our registration form. So let's say we'll be designing one simple registration form, and it consists of one field, let's say email. So inside email, now email has a specific format. Now if user forgets to enter that email in a specific format, then that our validation, what it will do is it will not accept that email address. So that is an example of it. That means that validation is used to validate the data which is entered inside the text box or anything, whatever we'll be using. Now this validation can also check for invalid data or if any data has been entered or not. So I'll continue with the practical and then I'll show you all of these controls. So let me first design this simple registration form in which I'll be having some of the fields like name, email, password, confirm password, and let's say age. So I'll just change the text name. So after this I'll drag some text box so that user can enter their value, and one button. So this means confirm password, and last one I'll take it as age. So I was telling that I'll put one button as well, so that when user clicks on the particular button it will generate the output, or if there's any error it will generate that error as well. So now last thing is text box. So I'll drag some text box. Now our design part is done. So next is inside validation menu, you'll find all the validators which we are going to use. The first one is require field validator. Now this require field validator ensures that user has to enter some text. Let's say this name text box. If user does not enter anything inside this name text box, now this require field, what it will do is it will make user enter something. It will make user enter something inside this text box, then only it will accept, or else it will throw an error message. Now in ASP.NET, validation works with properties only. So if you know all the properties, then you can easily use all the validation controls in ASP.NET. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll go to properties and tell you what are the properties that you have to use for require field validator. So the first property is text, in which I'll mention asterisk. Second property is for color, in which I'll be giving some color. Third property is the error message. If user does not enter the value, it will throw an error message. So that is error message property. So I'll write field cannot be empty. So this will be my error message. And the last property for require field is control to validate, in which we have to mention the text box name. So my text box name is text box 1. So I have mentioned it, that this require field is used for this text box. Now next thing what I'll do is I'll drag one more thing, that is validation summary. This validation summary is used to print all the error message. So for that purpose we use this. So here I'll use one property only, that is I'll use for color and change the color to red. Now if we run this, you can see that if user does not enter any value, the error message will appear, and it will make sure that user has to enter something. So here user has not entered anything. The error message is coming like field cannot be empty. Now let me enter something. So I am entering one name. Now if I press and submit, see the error message is gone. So this is require field validator. Now let's move on to the second validator, that is regular expression validator. So I'll stop this and I'll drag this expression validator. So I'll put it here. Now this regular expression validator is basically used to validate whether or not the value which we have entered in the text box matches the format which we have specified. Let's say for email we have an format, that means there should be @ there should be dot, there should be com, so we have to mention all those things. So that is in format. Now regular expression validator ensures that whatever we are choosing, that is email, so it should be in an proper format, then only it will be accepted. So let us do the program so that you can understand it better. So I'll use same thing, that is properties. So I'll go to text box, text as asterisk, for color as red. I'll give some error message, email should be valid. So this is my error message, email should be valid. And next property is control to validate, where I'll mention the text box name, and the main property of regular expression is validation expression. Now here we'll be given option of various things. Let's say phone number, the format will be given. So our format is to choose for email ID. So this is the format. Now here you can see the format or the expression has been generated automatically. It ensures that this particular email ID should be in proper format, then only it will be accepted. So I'll click on OK. Now let's run this and check. So I'll enter some name out here. Now let's say I am entering only this much. Now this is not in proper format. So when I submit, you can see email should be valid. That means email should be in a valid format, then only it is accepted. So for that purpose we use regular expression. Now the next one is custom validator. This custom validator is used to create a custom code. It ensures that we can create our code for something. So for that purpose we use this custom validator. So let's say I'm using this custom validator in password. Now I'll change the properties and show you how we can create some code for this. So I'll use asterisk, text property, for color red, error message. So let's say I am going to generate a code which says that length should be more than 5 or else password won't be accepted. So that means that length of password should be 5 and more. So I'll write the error message, password length should be 5 or more. So that is the error message. Next thing what I am going to do is control to validate, select the text box, that is 3. Now here I'll go to events and click on server validate. Now here my backside will get generated, that is ESPXCS, where I need to write the code. So I'll write the code as, if it is valid, I'll be using one of the properties which is already there, that is args argument. So if it is valid, then the value, and I'll write the length should be greater than 5, greater than equal to 5. So I'll give the semicolon and so let me equal to, I'll put this equal to sign and it will work. So that's the thing I have done. Now let me run this and show you that if length is greater than 5, then only it will get accepted. So I'll enter both the things. Now here I'll enter only one letter. Now you can see the error message is coming that password length should be 5 or more. Now let's enter 5 letters, so it will accept. So that's what we did with custom validator. Now next is compare validator. Now this compare validator is used to compare the value of one text box with another. So we'll be comparing our confirm password value with password value so that both remain same. So I will drag compare validator, so I'll paste it here. Now I'll go to properties, the same properties, that is text, for color, error message, password must match. Next is control to validate property, text box is 4, and the last one is control to compare property, in which I'll be comparing with text box 3, that is 3, 4. So I'm comparing with 3. Let's check. So I'll enter 1 2 3 4 5. So here I'll enter 1 2 3 only. Now it is comparing with these things, so it will give me an error that password must match. Now if I match the password, then only it will get accepted. So this was our fourth validator, that is compare validator. Now the last one is range validator. Now we'll be using range validator in age. So let's say our registration form will or can only be filled by age of 13 and above till 99, or else if the age is less than 13, then she won't be able to fill our form. So for that purpose we can use something known as range validator, which will ensure some range in the control. So text box control, it will ensure some range. So the properties are text, for color, error message. So age should be between 13 to 99. So this is my error message. So now next property which I have to select is control to validate. So I'll select the text box 5. Now the two important properties out here is maximum value and minimum value. So my minimum value is 13 and maximum value is, let's say, 99. So till 13 to 99 it will be accepted, or else it won't be accepted. So now let's check. So I'll fill all the fields. Now here let me enter 10. So it's giving me an error that age should be 13, and so let me enter 15. So now you can see it is accepted. Now let's test the next one. So I'm entering 101. Now you can see it's giving me an error. So it should be within the range, then only it will get accepted. So this was our last validator, that is range, and the validation summary, which I have already explained, which is used to print the error message, or you can say summary of all the error messages. For that purpose we use this. So I hope you guys understood this validation control along with all the validators which we have used. So thank you for watching.